Hi, and welcome to this section of the tutor where we're going to learn about how to add 3 and 4 digit numbers together. Now the good news is if you just watched the previous section of the course and you know how to add 1 and 2 digit numbers together, then this, even though it looks harder, is not going to be really hard because it's the same rules. There's nothing new here. The only difference is that the numbers are going to look a little bit bigger. So let's go ahead and do some problems and I'll show you how to add 3 and 4 digit numbers together. What if you had the number 124 plus 38? Now I'll admit to you that this problem looks a lot more complicated than the ones that we were doing in the last section, but I'm going to show you now that it really isn't, okay? Same thing. Let's go ahead and write the numbers on top of each other, and we want to put the bigger number on top. 124 has more digits, so it goes on the top. 38, we're just going to write it like this, and just like before, we're going to push it over to the right so it lines up with the right-hand column. Okay, now the same exact rules apply. Start in the right-hand column and add these two things together. 8 plus 4 gives you 12, and if you need to use your fingers for that, that's fine. You can start with 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we added 4 to it, we got 12. But 12 is 2 digits, so we can't just write numbers that are 2 digits down here. So we put the 2 down, okay? And we have to put that 1 somewhere because after all, we're trying to write 12 down. We're going to put the 1 up here in the column over to the left, okay? So it's the same thing as before. Now we add this column. 1 plus 2 gives me 3. 3 plus 3 gives me 6. So I put 6 down here. So all you're doing is adding these numbers here. Again, 1 plus 2 is 3. So that's these two, and then 3 plus another 3 gives me 6. Okay, and I just write it down in that column. Now I'm done with that. Now I just move to the left and say 1 plus 0, just like before, gives me 1. So the answer is 162. It looks like a harder problem, but it really isn't. There's just one more column to deal with, and it's the same rules as before. Okay? What if you had 210 plus 106, okay? Well, what you want to do is write these on top of each other, 210 and 106 on top of each other, and put a plus sign, okay? And it's the same thing as before. We're going to start on the right-hand column. 6 plus 0 is really easy because that just gives you 6. Anything plus 0, anything plus nothing is just going to give you itself back, okay? So 6 plus 0 gives you 6. And look here, we have in the next column 1 plus 0. Again, it's just going to give you 1 because anything plus 0 is just going to give you itself back. And we're done with that. And then we move to this column. 2 plus 1 is just going to give us 3. So the answer is 316. So you can see this problem looks a whole lot more complicated than the problems in the last section. It looks a lot more complicated, but once you know how to do it, it doesn't become that complicated. And that is what I'm going to be teaching you throughout the whole course here, is that things that seem complicated really aren't. Okay? So what if you had 378 plus 219? Okay? Again, looks more complicated, but all we're going to do is we're going to write these numbers on top of each other. 378 and then 219. And we're going to add them up. Okay? I'm going to start in the right-hand column, and I'm going to add 9 plus 8. And you can do that on your fingers, or maybe you might know that one already, but if you start at 9, and you go 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Added 8 more, and I got 17. But 17 is too big to put down here because it's 2 digits, okay? So I'm going to put the 7 down. Okay, the rightmost digit I'm going to put down. And I've got to put that 1 somewhere because I'm writing 17, so I'm going to put the 1 up here. Okay? So I wrote 17 down. Okay? Now we move to the next column. 1 plus 7 gives me 8, and then 8 plus another 1 gives me a 9. So you're just adding this up. 1 plus 7 gives me 8. 8 plus 1 gives me 9. I write that down. It's a single digit, so I can just put it down there. Okay? Now I'm done with that column. I move to the left. 3 plus 2, you could probably do that one on your fingers, it gives you 5. So the answer is 597. Okay, and what if you had 487 plus 267? Again, these are getting to be pretty big numbers, but as we can see, it's really not that hard whenever you know the rules. Okay, and that's going to be exactly true. So we just write them on top of each other, and we start in the rightmost column. 7 plus 7, you can do that on your fingers. It's going to be 14, okay? And let's see that. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So I added 7 more, and I got 14. So I put the 4 there, and I've got to put that 1 somewhere, and I know I'm not going to put it down here, so I've got to put that 1 up here, okay? So I wrote 14 down, okay? So now we move to the next column. 8 plus 1 gives me 9, and 9 plus 6, 9 plus 6 is going to be 15. And if you want to use your fingers for that, you start with 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, okay? Okay, so 1 plus 8 is 9, 9 plus 6 is 15. Again, it's 2 digits, so I can't just write it down. I put the 5 there, and I've got to put that 1 somewhere. Where do you think it's going to go? It's going to go up here, okay? So anytime you're writing a double digit down like this, you got to put the leading number up on the top of the other column, okay? Just like we did here. So now let's move to this column. 4 plus 1 gives me 5, and 5 plus 2 is just going to give me 7. 5 plus 2 is going to give me 7, okay? So 754 is the answer. Now this was a little bit more complicated problem, but it's very, very, very easy because 7 plus 7 gives you 14. I write the 4 down, put the 1 up here, and we move to the next column. When you add all these up, it comes to 15. Put the 5 down, put the 1 up here, okay? And then you add these up, it comes to 7. Okay? And you're going to see here that as we put bigger and bigger and bigger numbers on the board, the problems are going to look a lot more complicated, but the solving of the problems isn't really going to be that much more complicated. So what if you had 1, 2, 4, 9 plus 3, 8, 4? This is 1,249 plus 384. So what you would have is you have the big number on the top, 1, 2, 4, 9, the smaller number on the bottom, 3, 8, 4. And of course you want your plus sign. Now, even though it looks a lot more complicated, you do the same exact thing as before. No different. You start in the right-hand column and say 9 plus 4. 9 plus 4 is going to give you 13. If you start at 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, okay? But 13 is a 2-digit number, so you can't just put it down here. You put the 3 here, and you've got to put that 1 somewhere, and you put it up here, okay? Now, you're done with that. Move on to this column, okay? 1 plus 4 gives you 5. 5. 5 plus 8, okay? 5 plus 8 is going to give you 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, okay? So this is going to be 13. Again, 13 is too big just to write down here. It's 2 digits, so you have to put another 3. You have to put the 1 somewhere, so the 1 is going to go up here in the next column. Now you're done with this. Move on to this column. 1 plus 2 gives you 3, and 3 plus another 3 is going to give you 6. Okay, you're done with that column. Finally, you have this 1 plus a 0, because there's nothing there, and that's just going to give you 1. Okay, so in the end, you're going to get an answer of 1,633. And you see, even though it looks more complicated, it's really the same. You start in the right-hand column, you add, we got 13, put a 3 and a 1 here, added this up, got another 13, put a 3 and a 1 here, add this up, we got a 6, and add this up and got a 1. So really, the only thing is to know where to put these numbers whenever you have a 2-digit number that you have to write down. And that's why we're doing a lot of these problems, is to show you that. Okay, what if you had 2, 7, 2, 6 plus 3141. So this is the big number here, 2,726 plus 3,141, okay? But again, it's exactly the same thing as before. We want to write them down on top of each other. And we want to line up the columns, okay? So we write them on top of each other, and we start in the right-hand column. 6 plus 1 gives me 7, okay? So we're done with that. 2 plus 4, if you do that, you should see that gives you 6. Okay, we're done with that. 7 plus 1 gives you 8, and we're done with that. 2 plus 3 gives you 5, and we're done with that. So every time we did an addition here, we got a single-digit number, so we just put them down. We didn't have to do any of the other business because they were all single-digit numbers. So the answer is 5,867. Okay. Now, what if you had 6729 plus 1897? 6,729 plus 1,897. Well, you would have 6729 on the top, and you would have 1897 on the bottom. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and write those down. And we're going to start in the right-hand column. 9 plus 7, what is 9 plus 7? That's going to be 16, because you start at 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. We added 7 more, we got 16. But 16 is too big just to write down here because it's 2 digits, so we put the 6, and then we got to put that 1 somewhere, so we just put it right up here in the next column. Okay, now we're done with that column. Now let's move over here. 1 plus 2 gives you 3, and 3 plus 9 is going to give you 12, and you can just start with 9 and go 10, 11, 12. 3 plus 9 is 12. So what we're going to have is a 2 here, and we have to put that 1 somewhere, and it can't go here. We're writing a 2-digit number, so it's going to have to go in the next column. Okay? Now we're going to add all these up. 1 plus 7 gives you 8, and 8 plus another 8 is going to give you 16, because starting with 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So we added another 8 here, and we got 16. Put a 6, and we can't put that 1 down here because it's 2 digits, so that 1's got to go somewhere. It's got to go up here in the next column. So now we work on the next column. 1 plus 6 gives me 7, plus another 1 gives me an 8. Okay, so it's 8,626 is the answer. And you see it's really not that difficult. It's just a matter of knowing how to add single-digit numbers together, and then you can kind of go from there. 9 plus 7 gave us 16. Put the 6 here and the 1 up here. 1 plus 2 gave us 3, plus another 9 gave us 12. So we put the 2 here and the 1 up here, and then 1 plus 7 gave us 8, plus another 8 gave us 16. 6 goes here and the 1 goes up here because that was a 2-digit number. And then 1 plus 6 gave us 7, plus another 1 gave us 8. And then we're done because we've used all our columns up. So you just start in the right-hand column and work your way left, and when there's no more numbers to write down or to add, then you're done. So what if you had 1, 2, 3, 9 plus 2, 3, 4 plus 4, 7, 0, 2. So we're adding 3 numbers here, and we have 4 digits, 3 digits, 4 digits. So we want to write the most number of digits on the top, okay, and the least number of digit numbers on the bottom. So let's write 1, 2, 3, 9, and then let's write this one, 4, 7, 0, 2, and let's write the least number of digits on the bottom, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to add these up. Okay? But the rules are exactly the same. You start in this column and you start adding. 9 plus 2 is going to be starting at 9, 10, 11. Okay, so that's 11. Plus 4 more, 12, 13, 14, 15. So that's going to give us 15, but 15 is too big to write down here. So I'm just going to put a 5. And that 1's got to go somewhere, and I'm not going to put it here, so I'm going to put the 1 up here. Okay? Now let's add this column. 1 plus 3 is 4. 0 doesn't add at all. So 1 plus 3 is 4, plus 3 more, starting at 4, 5, 6, 7. We added 3 more and we got 7. So this is going to be 7. It's a single digit, so I'm just going to put it down there. Now let's go in this column. Okay? 2 plus 7 is going to give me 9, because starting with 7, 8, 9. Okay? And then 9, and then adding 2 more, 10, 11. That's adding 2 more is going to be 11. So I'll put a 1 here, and the other one's going to have to go somewhere. So the other one's going to go here. So 2 plus 7 plus 2 gave me 11. 1 digit goes here, 1 digit goes here. Now let's add this column. 1 plus 1 gives me 2. 2 plus another 4 is going to give me 6, because starting at 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Added 4 more and got 6. So I'm going to put a 6 down here in the answer, 6,175. So you can see that no matter how many numbers you're trying to add up, no matter how many digits they are left and right, no matter if you have a number this long and this many digits, it's the same exact rule, okay? You start at the right, you add them up. If it comes out to a single digit, you just write it down and move on. If it's 2 digits, then you put the right-hand digit down and carry the left-hand digit over. And then just keep adding and doing the same thing over and over and over again. And that is how you add numbers that have 3 and 4 digits, or in fact, any number of digits in length.